I never forget it. When that time came about, I could never get it out. I cried, I shut down, it hurt, because that pain just came back.
Empower You podcast is devoted to bringing real-world wisdom and encouragement to our listeners. We discuss a multitude of life principles and the process from an economic, cultural, and societal perspective. We believe that through tough conversations and shared wisdom, we can pave the path and leave a ladder for the future. Subscribe to our channel and let us empower you. Welcome to Empower You podcast. My name is Kid Boy Cooper. I am so glad that you are here. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about your truth, right? We're going to be trying to identify your naked truth. And when I say your naked truth, the reality is we have a lot of dressings, right? The filters that go over our lives. And it's difficult sometimes to really tap into exactly what is true for you. And so to go along with that topic, we have a fantastic guest who's going to be talking to us a little bit about that. And our guest is Zoe Wims. He is a coach, a fitness instructor, a youth advocate, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this topic, man. Zoe, how you doing?
I'm great, Kid Wayne. I'm great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate this opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking some time, man. I know you are a busy man and you got stuff going on. So I appreciate you stopping in with us. So can you tell us just a little bit about what you do and what you got going on here in 2021?
Definitely. Right now, obviously, like you said, I'm a health and wellness coach. I have my Burn Zone facility in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And right now we're working on branding our clothing line. So that's pretty cool. And I have a few other business ventures that's not fitness related that's in the works, in the making. So stay tuned for that. Check me out. So being an entrepreneur, young, black, and successful, baby.
That's right. That's what's up, man. So, knowing your naked truth, right? I think it's something I don't feel like we are as comfortable with because we don't see it very much. And I mean that in such a way. And what I mean by that is just that we have so many layers, right? And I'm assuming you encountered this from a health and fitness perspective. How do you see people struggling with their naked truth about, who they are, about things that are going on in their life? Because you occupy a really intimate space, right? When
Definitely.
You're helping people become more healthy and reach their wellness goals. That's an emotional journey. That's something important. So
Yes,
what is it that you think about when you think of your naked truth? What's your first thoughts on that?
Oh, geez, how much time we have, Kid Way?
Hey, man, I got as long as you got, brother.
All right. How deep can we get on here? Is there profanity? Like what? How real can I get? That's the
question. So I prefer we not do too much cussing on here, just because I'd love to make sure that it was available and readily accessible for any age group. So that's what I would prefer. Okay. But please do not shy away from articulating yourself fully, because that is also super important. So definitely. I'm not telling you to water it down. I'm just saying don't color it too much. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, my brother. All right. Well, as you said, there's a lot of psychological activities that go on within training. And with my business, my slogan is fitness beyond the scale. And that goes within rewiring that brain. I feel that real recognize real. So, and I mean by that is that someone like myself that grew up with traumas, in a sense, childhood traumas, from being verbally abused, mentally abused, sexually abused, and overcoming them. at such a young age. And the things that I had to learn about myself through this process of why was I so angry and bitter at the world, et cetera, is because of my deep rooted traumas. I guess I would like to talk about probably the sexual abuse one. That's something that I feel like we don't speak enough about in the world. Young boys that are being molested by their family members and whatnot, and how traumatic that can be as a man grows up. From just trying to identify his sexuality in a sense of, is this right? Is this wrong? Especially if it's the same sex that's sexually abusing you. Someone like me, I was abused by both sex. So that kind of, to a certain degree, helped my confusion early as a kid and realizing that, okay, the boy on boy situation is definitely wrong, but I never got to speak to anyone about these traumatic experiences, even though they were
Wow.
occurring. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, especially growing up without a father in the home that, you can speak to and have these uncomfortable conversations, especially when it's their family members, et cetera. So growing up with this chip on my shoulder, football was my outlet, and, getting in trouble, in school, this and that, et cetera. And this is something, just a little side note for later down the road, but this working in the school system, also working in the school system as well, but I'm able to see through my kids at the school, also adults. I can tell that you haven't dealt with your truth or your pain body yet, because you're masking it, because I've dealt with mine. And I know what that energy feels and what it looks like. You masking it very well. Don't get me wrong. A lot of us, we mask it very well, and I will get to that part of this as well with the masking part, just going through years of having this traumatic experience that occurred numerous of times through my childhood and family gatherings, this and that, and having to wear this mask of like, I loved my family, but really I hate them to a certain degree at this time in my life, because I'm seeing my my people that abused me were not at our family gatherings, So it allowed me, you get what I'm saying? So, the adults, never thought to, what's wrong, et cetera, but I learned to mask it at such a young age that as I grown to become a young man, I learned to perfect it. But at the same time, I created rage and anger in different ways. But the blessing was I had sports to channel that energy, thankfully, because who knows what type of trouble that could have led me down. So for me, it took a college relationship to overcome this truth. The lady that I was dating at this time in college, she was in a sorority, and they had a rape group that they were in. The sorority girls were not. And she was the first person that ever truly allowed me to feel like I can talk about it or express it. I never forget it. When that time came about, I couldn't ever get it out. I cried, I shut down, it hurt, because that pain just came back. And I hid it down as, we hide it very well. We mask it very well. But finally got to a point where I felt comfortable enough to speak to her about it. And I realized that this feels good, to get it out. You have to have that person that you can trust, obviously, because it's a very vulnerable state to put yourself in, especially as a man, being, talking about, being molested and whatnot by another male, especially when you feel that you're alpha male at that as well. So she invited me to some of her groups. I was like one of the only guys in there, obviously, but it was eye-opening for me. And this is when I start realizing the release of this traumatic experience and these shackles that I had shackled upon me since childhood, and not realizing, why was I so angry at the world, this and that, etc. Where is this rage
Yeah.
coming from?
Right.
So
Right.
the greatest thing, Kidway, that happened for me was after I conquered that part of it, because the more I talk about it, the better it got. Because now, obviously, I'm better to speak about it with not even cracking my voice, because I'm that over it. I've healed myself. I can't help what happened to me as a child, this and that, et cetera. But I do understand the trauma behind the pain, et cetera, and why, I didn't really start to be able to truly live my truth, and how it was, if I would have kept it shackled upon me, it would have been stunning my certain different aspects of my life. I wouldn't be able to tap into it in a sense. And when I realized this was when the lady that helped me, the girlfriend at the time that helped me break through this, she told me, she said, I think it's time for you to tell your mother, et cetera.
Ooh.
Oh, I know,
Wow,
right?
man.
Hey, right?
Oh my
I,
goodness.
I'm like, whoa, whoa. But, she was a very spiritual person, this and that. And she just wanted me to be free, from this, and
Yeah.
to be able to, tap into my truth. And so I never forget this, man. My school was 6 hours away, and I called my mom, and I was like, I need to see you this weekend. And, I'm thinking all throughout the week, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't even know where
Mm-hmm.
to start. So
Yeah.
I was a smoker, in college when I rolled up like 6, 10 blunts, et cetera. And, just to keep my stress, because like the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
six
To
hour
keep up the
drive,
nerve to do it.
yeah, it was therapy for me. You know what I mean? So that 6 hour drive, all I could think about, I'm just reliving this story for 6 hours and trying to conjure up how I'm going to say this to my mother, knowing that, it was part of our family that has done this. And so once I got up there, I had to get in the car. We drove to an empty parking lot. I'm crying and stuff. It's a very traumatic experience. A very painful thing. I'm lighting up and whatnot. She was like, "Wait, what's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm trying to get it out, and it's like she already kind of knew, though, in a weird way. But this is when something that just, it was, I don't even know how to articulate this, but feel free to help me articulate this experience, rather. So as I'm trying to get my story across to her, something magical happened. She told me something. I think she was about 42, 43 at this time. I'm 21, 22 years old. She stopped my story, and not to say she made it about her, because it wasn't like that, but I created this strength of this truthful space to allow
Yeah.
this grown woman to say
Yeah.
something that
To
has a,
reveal to
yeah,
you
yes, you
her
know,
own pain.
exactly. So I was just like, I didn't even need to say anymore. I saw her finally being able to get something off her shoulders. And I'm 22, 21 years old, and seeing this grown woman, my mother at this time, looking at her, was like, wow, how many people will go to their graves or
Holding on to that.
holding on to that energy, you know, and these unhidden truths of things that are detrimental to our souls, our spirits, to our growth in different areas of our lives that we will never be able to tap into in these blockages, because we pigeonholed ourselves because of whatever it may be. And so
Right.
I learned to, no matter whatever traumas after that day, Kidway, I made myself as vulnerable as possible, and all my insecurities, all my trauma, I released it. It took me about a decade to work on that. That was pretty much my 20s. I felt like about 28, 29, that's when I really felt like I let go of all of my old traumas, hurts, baggage, insecurities. I accepted it, you know, and then I learned, wow, now I can truly tap into who I am as a person. Now I can truly start seeing me, because those traumas, et cetera, you create these masks in this false identity to a certain degree to society, where it's like we're all hurting. We all have something to a certain degree. You're blessed if you don't have something, but
Right.
those of us that
Yeah.
do, we mask it so well as adults that it's just like, but who are you though? If you can release that, who are you?
Ooh, if you can release that, if you can, who actually are you when you're not just trying to conceal all the time?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, man, that's a powerful story, man. Thank you for sharing that,
Yeah, it's
brother.
definitely,
That is
definitely.
that is quite a truth, man. And how amazing for your mom to be able to really reconcile whatever's going on with her,
Right, exactly. Exactly.
you know?
hmm You know,
Wow, man.
so that what motivated me though, Kid, way to help anybody that's in my circle. Like if you in my tribe, I'm sorry, I'm shining my light to get your demons out of you. You might not like me, you might say this, etc. But if you stick it through with me, oh man, you got a friend for life. And I'm going to free up some things out of your life. But you gotta be open to it too, though, Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everybody's not ready for it. Everybody's not ready for it, and that's okay though, but if you can find somebody that you can confide in, I think everyone should at least give it a try to be vulnerable enough to speak on our dark parts of our souls, and we're not that where we've been hurt.
Yeah. That's big, man. So do you think I mean, obviously you take that energy and you give that to your clients,
Definitely.
you know. Have you felt any of them like resist or not want to do it or
Well, I've learned to, in my 20s, I was young, a little reckless with it, et cetera, because I was so ecstatic and excited about it. But I'm like, whoa, everybody's not you, Joe. So you got to approach people, differently when it comes to these things. Yes, it is very freeing, et cetera, but it's a process to this and it doesn't happen overnight, because you're kind of re-breaking people. So, because you tap back
oh,
into it, you get what I'm saying?
re-breaking people?
Yes, because they go back into their attic. I like to call it the attic. Those traumas stay in our attics, but guess what? That stuff is still in your house. It's still in your house, in your temple. You know. So with my clients, I've learned to manipulate it in a positive manipulation. That's what I like to call it. By using workouts and challenging their minds from saying I can't to I can, and throughout building those type of confidence. And then some of the clients, we have more of a personal relationship on the side where we can talk about certain things that they never talked about before. Things that a lot of people,
Right.
it's like, but it takes time though. It takes time. So it's just,
Mm.
yeah, it's a strategy to it, and it takes time because you're really rewiring people's mind and brains, and to allow them to get to their truths and realize like, hey, it's okay that you experienced that or that hurts you, but release the power, take your power back.
Wow. Wow. Hmm. That is incredible, man. For real. That is really incredible. I think that would be, well, first that's a valuable space, but then also, man, I don't know that I want to see the darkest parts of everybody, you know? So I think it's really special that you stay in that space with people. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm good with being there for people and I love to shine a light. But I just think there's certain things that I'm just like, wow. Like so, even it's the same thing with like nurses and stuff like that, man.
Right, right.
Everybody would help you across the street, but you talk about pulling out bullets, then you're like, oh, maybe we should
Exactly.
have somebody else
Yeah.
do that. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
So, I just think that's really great, man, that
Yep.
you do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So what has been your toughest case, your toughest breakthrough for your clients? You don't have to name any names. I'm just saying, like, what's been a real breakthrough for one of your clients? I'm interested. I feel like you're probably like everybody's secret keeper.
Wow, man. You know, That's deep. It's like, where do I start? In a weird way, kid way. Um, I don't want to say that everyone's the same. We all want to feel special and different, but I feel like a lot of people want to focus on their stories instead of the pain. And we're not, and I say this going back to your story of taking out the bullets. So, okay, I got a client that just got shot one time. Now I got a client that got stabbed 3 times. And then now I got somebody that, got hit by a grenade, or not, hypothetically. And so either way, these people are going through pain. It hurts. But people tend to go, but you don't understand. I got shot 7 times. You don't understand. I got hit by this bomb, etc. And so that's the fight for pretty much all of them, though. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it's really not a true special story like that, because people are people at the end of the day. And, like when people on that bed, I don't think anybody really, well, it might be a person out there that may have done that, but get shot and just come in smiling. Like, hey guys, I got shot today.
Yeah, right, right.
You get what I'm saying? They all, it's a mental fight too, at the end of the day. I have a lot of clients that will cry, like you said, that it's not for everybody to do this though. And I, to a certain degree, that I feel like it's a somewhat of a gift too, to be able to be in that dark space for people, because I always say, you will break before me. Like I know how to go into that darkness, because I came out of my darkness, and I feel that we all have it. And I feel that even though that you don't need to be a helper though, Kid Way, but at the same time, whatever your darknesses are as a person, hopefully that you will look into your darknesses as well, but it's like, we as human beings have to realize that everything is yin and yang. And for some reason in our world today, we only want to focus on the sun, but we forget that we have a moon at night. And that still is a part of our existence, but we don't tap into it. And the reason why I say that, Kid Way, is that, like, when I work out, and a lot of people, I realize when people watch me or not, they hate that they don't see me struggle the way that how they would struggle. It's like, no, I've struggled before. I just learned to take my rage, all that trauma, all that negative energy from that dark place, channel it in a positive way, which I done it in sports, and now I do it in the fitness world. I'm like, no, this stuff hurts too. I feel it too. I just don't allow it to affect me the way that it affects you.
Yeah.
I learned how to disconnect the pain, and I know that the outcome is bigger muscles, or more endurance, or, tighter body, or whatever it may be, or be able to run faster, or to jump higher. So using that dark space as positive source of energy, if that makes sense to you, because now I'm in control over it. I'm controlling this dark energy,
Right.
Yeah. So
how do you help other people do that? Like, what are some of your tactics? I'm making you tell the tricks of your trade a little
I
bit.
can't do that. I can't. You gotta come into my world. You gotta come into my world. I look at it like this, Kid Way. You
gotta give us just one, just something small.
Well, I told you at the beginning when my clients come in saying that I can't do that, and then by the time they leave, they say I can. So that's something that's big but small, because that's the process. A person, because that's that doubtful energy, they don't believe in themselves, etc. To give these people that confidence, we're like, oh my God, like 2 months ago, I was so intimidated by that weight, and now I'm doing this, and they're saying, give me one more. I can't. Da 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 da. So.
Yeah.
But
man, I've been reading, self-development books, and they talk about certain things, especially as it regards to your own accountability. You nobody, can control everything, right?
Right.
But you have the same amount of time in every day.
24
and so
hours.
we have to teach ourselves, through consistency to have different habits, to have different philosophies, to have different processes that we go through.
So I'm so glad you said that. So I can tell you my practices then. I can share those with you.
Absolutely. I'm
Um,
ready for it, bro.
let's get it. And these are some things that I share with my clients as well. Like for
Okay.
starters, I've had the same vision board since 2005. All I do is just add to it. Throughout all these years, I add to it. Things that I want to manifest throughout my life. Every morning, first thing that I do, I have a smart home, so Google wakes me up and whatnot, and it plays my meditation music for about 15 minutes. So I make sure I stay meditated and I listen to my positive affirmations. May it be manifesting finances, just being happy, whatever it may be. Creating these positive programs, because for some reason, majority of people, and I'm going to continue talking about my habits, but for some reason, people like to go to the news. They go to check their emails, all of this stuff before they work on themselves and get themselves right first. You know, it's like when you watch the news, you just gave your mind negative energy without even realizing it. That is a programming. That is a
Yeah.
programming that is going into your psyche. First thing that I do, I listen to positive things, etc. You know, so then, you know, once I wake up and this and that, I make my bed up. So now I physically have accomplished a goal today. No matter what, I'm already off to a good start. I made my bed up. You know, it's that simple, but at the same time, it's not, because it's like I know a lot of
Yeah, it's
people.
a discipline.
It's a discipline. Exactly. So it's the days when you do not want to do things where those habits will show and take place, and be evident that that positive energy will help the negative stuff kind of subside to a certain degree, if that
Right.
makes
That
sense.
intentionality throughout the day
Is
to intentionally keep yourself in a certain space.
exactly. You know,
Mm.
so I've learned that I just rather be happy, you know, and be optimistic, etc. From coming from a dark place in life, you know, with the traumas and this and that growing up. So I do everything in my power to do self-development, self-help, and it's just like working out. It's a lifestyle. It's like, this is not something that you can just do a few times and be done with it. I got to do this until I die, because I know what the other side looks like if I just stop my daily
Yeah.
rituals and my habits. I'm
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying? I look the
Yeah.
way I look
Yes.
because of how I train every day. I think the way I think because of the audiobooks and the positive affirmations, and all the positive things that I put into my mind first thing in the morning and before I go to bed. So, and I really pay attention to some of the negative things that I've listened to, even from the music to movies to, like, people don't really think about this. Like, it's almost like
Oh yeah.
hypnosis.
Oh my God. I feel you. I know a guy, he always says, what entertains you trains you. And
Woo!
if you're the type who just loves to just sit and, I mean, listen, everybody has their detox, their
Mm-hmm.
stress reliever. But I do think it's I agree with you, man. That is something I had to change about some of the things I was doing. I'm like, okay, but you can't be trying to be this, person of character or whatever, and you listen to this all day, or
Exactly.
this is the space you dwell in all day. This
Mm-hmm.
is what's on your mind constantly. Like, that doesn't that's not truth, right? That's
That's not
not
true.
your naked truth. that
Exactly.
is that is that is you allowing other people to change, and to put a filter on what is actually true for you. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I like that. Yes, sir.
So besides, what have been some other truths you've had to learn about yourself, even in your business, in your own fitness journey? Because I'm sure there's, I know that it's difficult to keep yourself, even once you get into a real good routine. I know for myself, I used to always worry I was going to plateau. Thankfully, I hadn't. But it wasn't necessarily because of my workouts. It was because of other things in my life that, kind of reinvigorate you going to the gym. But as far as plateauing, as far as getting exhausted along the way, what have you learned about yourself, during that process. Today is the day, and now is the time. If you have a good idea, good intentions, and are looking for a way to get audience and to get your great message out to the world, I encourage you to start your very own podcast. You would be surprised the amount of folks who are waiting to hear your content. My name is Kidboy Cooper, and I have been an audio engineer for the past 7 years, and I am offering one-on-one coaching to help you get through the beginning stages of creating your very own podcast. Please reach out to me and let me know how I can help you. My email address is empoweryoupodcast@gmail.com. We offer one-on-one coaching, a live masterclass, and even a 10-module course that will take you through the entire process of creating, producing, and distributing your podcast to your very own listeners. This is a great avenue to connect with your audience and to connect with people who are in need of your voice. Again, reach out to me at empoweryoupodcast@gmail.com and let's get your podcast started today.
You have to have goals. For me personally, I have to have something to reach for. If I don't have goals, then I become stagnant. I just become complacent, and I feel that burnt out feeling that you're speaking of. So I've learned through these processes and these journeys that I have to, once I reach a goal, okay, what's your next goal? When I'm getting close to one goal, I should already be ready to start jotting down, and starting to implement a plan of action, my next goal. Because otherwise I know what space I'm going to dwell in if I don't have that next goal ready, and I think I had to experience that for myself because I see it with my clients too, and so that naked truth behind that is that, like, I had to take myself into a place of discomfort of getting overweight so I can experience that empathy of a client that is overweight. I got myself super skinny and became a vegan for a year to experience what it feels like for them to gain muscles, because their fight is exactly like the heavier person. But the truth is that it's like they look at each other as opposites. The thicker person looks at the skinny person like, you da-da-da-da-da, when the skinny person's like, man, like, I wish I could gain weight. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You always envy the opposite of
The
what you got going
opposite.
on
Yeah.
sometime. Yeah.
Yes. So I put myself in positions to relate to them. I got buff, I got ripped, this and that, et cetera, because I hate excuses, and I like to put myself in other people's shoes just to have those experiences. So when I do have a client or not, I can relate to them and, say, no, I understand what you're going through. It's like, I really need you to stop feeling sorry for yourself, but I'll hold your hand through this, but after a while, I'm going to have to let your hand go, because the truth is you have to do this.
You have to do this.
You have to do this. So they teach me probably more than, and they help me learn a lot about myself though, too. Because I feel that once we really start, pulling back that veil, people are people. You can see yourself in others. You can see yourself in others to a certain degree. They might just do things differently. You can see yourself at a lower level. You can see yourself at a higher level. And then you can see people that I feel that reflects your energy. I don't know. That's just kind of where I have evolved to in life right now. So when I see all my clients, when they first walk through that door, and, they might be ambitious or inspired to start working out, but at the same time, they're terrified because, they have to hold themselves accountable. And that's the naked truth behind that too. Now you created another responsibility that you had to add to your life, especially if you're married, got kids, or whatever it may be.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so as soon as somebody's birthday happens, what you gonna do? As soon as one of your kids gets sick, what you gonna do? And the cool thing is, I always get to experience both sides. I see the mom with 3 kids and a husband, or with no husband, that makes it work. And then I see the mom with 3 kids with a husband or no husband that capitalizes on the excuses, or
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying. So it's just like,
Yeah.
woo, like
It really can show who's in the room.
yes, sir. It reveals that truth. It's like, you say you want it, but those outside circumstances allowed to cloud your judgment, or it gave you enough reason to not do it, because the truth is you really don't want to do it, and your reason or your why of doing what you're doing right now is not big enough. It's not big enough.
Wow. Man, your why is not big enough. Wow. That's a really bold statement to make, man. I mean, I think to tell somebody like, yo, I need you to find something deeper, because whatever it is you think that you are doing this for, that's clearly not enough to get you over the hump that you're experiencing. So you got to find something deeper.
Exactly. Because you got to think about this, Kidway. I was speaking to somebody the other day about single moms, how they make it work. If they have to go to school, they babies be fed, have a roof over their head, have clothes, etc. They make it work. Where do they tap into that energy? And their why is super huge, and they won't let anything get in their way to protect their babies, right? So you're capable, we're capable, all of us have this in us, but your why obviously is not big enough. It's not big enough. If you end up quitting on yourself or whatever it may be. Now, don't get me wrong, you get cancer or something, illness comes about. Yeah, exactly. That's understandable. But if you're healthy, you got a job, roof over your head, everything's going good, I'm sorry, you just being American.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, I gotta call it for what it is. That's that naked truth, my brother. It's like, nah, you like
went there.
You don't want it. I went there. Yes.
Man, so for anybody who thinks, oh, well, this is all that self-development, whatever stuff that, people say all the time, discover your naked truth, and I understand that can be annoying. You can hear these kind of phrases a lot, but I want you to talk to us about how these principles, how you're exercising that in your business. You always refer to yourself as a what do you call yourself? Mildly successful black man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, you've done some significant things. And so how is it that you have translated your truths about your character and the things that you've gone through into your business, so people really understand, these are directly holding you back, because for myself, I didn't really, I'm becoming more and more aware of the realities, that what you're talking about. So you saying all that, it's like, oh God, but at the same time, I agree that I completely resonate with that. So talk to us about how that can play out in your business, because I'd be worried about that kind of stuff.
All right. For example, I see that these principles apply outside of fitness. This applies into all aspects of life, I feel personally. For example, with me as an entrepreneur businessman, I have a full-time job. I've been running my business for 7 years, and I've had so many things thrown at me. From my place got flooded, and people at that time would tell my other trainers, "Why don't you guys just shut the burn zone down for like 2 weeks and let it da." Whoa, what? So me implementing these skills, I was able to think through this situation and allow my clients to train in the clubhouse or somewhere else, for those 2 weeks while I worked on my business, getting it situated and this and that, so I can have the return of my clients. Times where I may have lost a trainer, or even now through this pandemic, being able to become even more creative and survive. And when I see other businesses, unfortunately, go out of business. And it's like, why is that though? It's still a small business and we're not. But when you see some of these larger businesses and this and that, why did they go under? What was it about them that they could not adapt or become creative enough to keep their business thriving or alive, or figure out a different avenue, or to evolve their business on a whole different level, or redefine their business throughout this pandemic, just so they can still survive. And I feel that I'm able to survive through all these crazy experiences, and pandemics and floods and losing trainers, etc., throughout these years, because of my daily habits of
Yeah.
discipline and perseverance, and not saying you can't. And I'm like, no, I can. I'm going to figure this out. It's like, this is nothing but, it's that same bullet wound or stabbing. I'm like, no, I've been here before. It's that same anxiety feeling and that nauseous feeling, like, oh my God, like you start worrying. And I tell myself, like, no, put that to the side. We're not worrying. We think about solutions. Let's figure it out. But my brain muscles have been trained to automatically think in the optimistic, positive way, because naturally our brains is already thinking for survival and being in stressful states, because of just how we are as humans, thinking that back in the day, a lion or, something can come eat us. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
we don't have to worry like that anymore, though,
But your brain is still wired to keep you safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think I've heard, it's like it's being an entrepreneur, and even life really is all about solving problems.
It's all about solving problems.
If you aren't comfortable enough, with that anxious, that fearful, that, gut-wrenching feeling of a drastic problem, you're going to continue to, that's why self-development is so important.
Wow.
Is to train you're saying it exactly, So I'm not trying to reiterate, but for anybody who's listening, this is super important. If you're trying to accomplish a goal, if you're trying to build something, you really, really, and this goes for myself as well. This is something I've been implementing, and I've seen it change my own life, is implementing small consistencies.
Yes,
implementing small consistencies. So when I hear your routines, though, I'm just like, bro, small consistencies everywhere.
One bite at a time. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been something that's been difficult for me, because I'm not, I'm very spontaneous sometimes. And so it's difficult sometimes for me to fully focus on different things. But through practicing these small consistencies, I noticed that I can show up better, with better ideas, and with better energy towards those. And they're affecting my business and stuff. So I say all that again, because we can really get down, right, and just feel like nothing is for us.
Right.
But the reality is that it's all supposed to feel like that.
Yes.
It's supposed to feel like that. You're supposed to get frustrated. You're supposed to not like it. It's supposed to burn. It's supposed to hurt.
You got to be okay with being uncomfortable.
Right. It's supposed to do all of those things. And one of my truths was that I always felt weak. I was like, I shouldn't feel like this. I'm clearly weaker than everybody else. That's because this is affecting me and my, blah, blah, blah. And the reality is just like, everybody goes through that. You're not weak. You just got to choose to respond to it better. So if you're listening, go ahead and hit subscribe, like, share with a friend of yours, somebody who you're thinking about right now, while you're listening to this podcast. I want you to go ahead and share it with them. You don't have to share it with everybody, but share it with that person that you really believe could be impacted by this conversation that we're having. We're talking about our naked truths, right? And Zoe has bravely told us his story and the things he's helping his clients with. And I'm just listening, really, because it's empowering to hear someone really displaying the power of their truth and how it's affecting their life. And I think that's really important. We have to reach that place where we can be okay and proud of just who we are and the skills we bring to the table, and this is all part of it. If we're going to build successful behaviors, we have to know our own truths. So, yeah, man, I just think it's incredible what you're doing over there. I see how consistent you guys are, and that you're getting your clients results, results, and that is the really, really important thing, man, because people can pull you in all day long, but some people, they can't really help you.
That's true.
But
Kidway, you said something very powerful just a minute ago of taking ownership and acknowledging your weaknesses and how it affects your business and other things of your life. If a person can't get to that point, Kidway, we can't even start. We can't even start. You can't help yourself, nor can someone else help you, because you didn't take ownership.
Yeah, because that's what informs the entire thing, right?
Exactly.
That's what informs the whole journey.
Exactly. Accept your naked truth. Realize there's nothing we can do about it right now, but we understand, like, wow, I procrastinate, or I do this, or I know I should be stronger, whatever it may be. All right, cool. Accept it. We got it. But we can take one bite at a time, as you said, one day at a time. And over the years, over the weeks, over the months, over the days, we will get there.
Yeah, man. What's the I believe there's a quote that says the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step.
First step, yes, sir.
Chinese proverb.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's amazing. Man, well, listen, I should probably go ahead and let you go. But if there's anything you want to leave at the end of every episode, we do what's called a thought exercise. Now, I know you've already told us some of your routines and the special things you do with your client. You've been very generous with your information. But if we could just get one more exercise out of you, man, I think that would be great. And I would love to hear what you got for us.
I got you. All right. For all the listeners out there, this is something I've done for years. The world can be nasty. The world can be nasty to us all. So whenever you get out that shower, or before you take a shower, after you brush your teeth, whatever your routine is in the bathroom, I need you to look in the mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and tell yourself, I am a badass, or whatever affirmations you want to say to yourself. Cast those spells upon yourself, look yourself in the eyes, and believe whatever person that you want to be. See that within yourself. Look yourself dead in the eyes and believe that you can evolve and become that person. You have to believe it every day. Do it. I promise you it works. It might seem silly at first, but I promise you it works.
Right. Man. Do it in your camera phone.
Yes. Use the technology. Oh my God, can't wait. Even better. Yes.
Yeah. Do it in your camera phone.
Do it in a camera phone.
I think about myself because I always think about these thought exercises, man. I'm always trying to get better. And so when my guests leave thought exercises, I'm automatically trying to think about how I can do it. And I was like, man, what if I get too busy? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it in my camera phone.
You know what? Thank you as well for. I'm going to adopt that. Thank you. That's utilizing the technology. That's brilliant.
Yes.
And now you can record it and see your confident self of saying, I'm confident, or whatever, positive things that you want to say to yourself and say with confidence. And you can watch it when you're down. I love it.
Man, that's amazing. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Tell us again where we can find you, how we can interact with you. And if you're interested in going to the Burn Zone or purchasing any Burn Zone gear, Zoe got you. So tell us a little bit about where we can find you, and maybe give us some closing words.
Definitely. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What's the other one? Snapchat. It's all Burn Zone. Check us out. You'll see our workouts. We got daily positive motivations Monday through Friday. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to find me personally, I'm King Zoe throughout my social medias, Zoe Wims on Facebook. And, I got a little different content on there, but it's still influential. So But yes, let's see. My final words. Always believe in yourself. Always believe in yourself.
Absolutely. Essential. Belief is everything.
Belief is everything. Yes.
Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you taking time to be with us. I hope you have a good time out there in Florida.
Yes, sir.
So it is like 5-6 degrees. We only have just a couple degrees to share between everybody in the state because it is freezing here. So enjoy being out in the warm climate, man.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll get a hold of you when you get back in town. Pick it up.
Hey, thank you, kid. Well, I appreciate it. Be
All right,
blessed.
man. So to all those out there, remember, like, share, subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share this with that one person that you're thinking about, okay? You don't have to share this with everybody. I'm not asking you to do that. But when we hear things that resonate with our spirit, that are truths for us, we often think of somebody. And I want you to share it with that somebody, okay? And as always, thank you for being here, and I will talk to you. See you a little later. Peace. Empower You podcast is devoted to bringing real world wisdom and encouragement to our listeners. We discuss a multitude of life principles and the process from an economic, cultural, and societal perspective. We believe that through tough conversations and shared wisdom, we can pave the path and leave a ladder for the future. Subscribe to our channel and let us empower you.